of the Great St. Bernard. St. Bernard Pass, used for centuries to cross the Alps. Beautiful to look at, but full of danger and peril to the unwary traveler. And there were many travelers, for this was the time of Napoleon, who turned all of Europe into a battleground. 1802 was also the year in which a peaceful hero was born. A hero whose career was dedicated not to destroying lives, but to saving them. He was a St. Bernard, like this one of the famous breed of Alpine rescue dogs. Many were exceptional, but he was by far the greatest. His name was Barry. According to actual records, of all the dogs before or since, there was none to match him. He was truly a wonder dog. From the day he was born, before he was given his name or had opened his eyes, even as a tiny puppy, Barry often heard the alarm. It signaled another traveler in danger, another rescue attempt by the dedicated men and dogs of the hospice. Since the 11th century, when Bernard de Montfort, Saint Bernard, founded the order beside the mountain pass which also bore his name, thousands had been saved. Like the dogs, the monks of St. Bernard, called canons, were well trained. Living at such high altitudes, they were prepared for the unstable elements, for blue skies that could turn into blinding storms in a flash, fierce winds that came howling out of nowhere, cold that cut like a knife, and dreaded most of all, on the slopes and cliffs high above, hanging overhead, waiting, the deadly avalanche. Tons of snow and ice that could let go without warning and destroy everything below. Yet always, despite the odds, the rescue attempt is made. This time, instead of one of the canons, it is Julius, the kennel master, who goes. On the narrow pathway above, the dogs are kept in readiness. with the victim en route to safety and shelter. The men and dogs of the hospice have once more demonstrated their ability to conquer the wind, the cold, and the snow. As for the great St. Bernard Barry, from birth, he is the most independent of his litter. So, like those outside, he goes adventuring inside.
Wait a minute. Hey, where do you think you're going? The rescue's over. You'll have to wait till the next one. You're a big one, huh? You open your eyes already? Good. Very good. I can see you, too. Hey, look at this. Not bad, huh?
That's a handsome watch.
Thank you. It was my father's.
Suppose you put him away also.
Julius, did you notice? He opened his eyes well ahead of the others. And he's half a dent bigger than they are. Aren't you? Hey, you little bear. Barry.
Barry? Barry?
He looks like a little bear cub. Bear? Barry. It seems to fit. It's only a pet name.
Our dogs are not pets, Martin. They are work dogs. We prefer to treat them all alike. No favorites.
Julius?
At once, Father. Remember, there are more in the litter than just this one.
More besides you, yes. But there's only one Barry.
Brother Fredo tells me one of the dogs warned him of treacherous snow just in time.
It was Devo. A good dog, Devo.
And well trained, like all your dogs.
I only do what my father did before me.
And how well does the Neurovis do, Julius?
Martin?
I gather you're not altogether happy with him. Julius, you know you need more help.
Why, Father? I never have before. Are you saying I'm getting old?
We all get old, especially up here. No, good friend, there is a better reason.
A better reason, Father?
Julius, how many times this month has our bell rang the alarm? The month is only half gone, and already we have rescued twice the travelers we did a year ago.
It is a war, Father. Napoleon.
Oh, yes, the war. We both know how war is. Armies march and people are uprooted. Julius, you have too much to do. Martin will ease your task. He has a way with animals, doesn't he?
He seems to. Of course, it's not my way.
You noticed his watch.
Yes. It seems very precious to him.
Do you happen to know his last name?
Last name? I never knew any cannon's last name.
True, true. Once we put on the robe, we leave last names behind. His last name is Coigny.
What difference? Coigny? But that was the name of the couple who died on the pass last winter.
They were his parents. The watch was his father's. Old Martin has left. He asked particularly to work with the dogs, to rescue others. He seeks some kind of revenge against the mountains.
Revenge? There is no revenge against mountains.
So I hope he will learn in time. Well?
Well, it's not an easy task, Father. I suppose I can stand it, if he can. The puppies. He can work with the puppies.
Good. They will be starting together then. After all, he's a beginner too.
Barry. Sit. Stay.
Even as a puppy, Barry shows a staying power remarkable in so small a dog,
And stay.
and obviously beyond the grasp of his classmates.
Come over here. Here, Barry.
In the difficult climb from very young to not quite so young, Barry manages to keep ahead of the pack.
Stay. Barry, speak. 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 Speak.
The St. Bernard is a natural retriever. Yet Barry is the only one of the dogs that knows he should be doing something with this strange object. He hasn't yet learned what, but he will.
Go, Barry.
The dog weighs nearly as much as the man, yet his feet do not sink in the snow like the man's, thanks to webbing between the toes of the forepaws. Big for his age and a quick learner, Barry soon carries his weight with much older dogs.
Beautiful, bright day, isn't it?
Yeah? What are you teaching him now?
Oh, nothing. We were just playing this time.
The others, they're inside?
But they tie more easily than Barry. Julius, it's not only that he's bigger. He's smarter, too.
It's a mistake to favor him.
I try not to do so. Who can help it? They can't learn the way he does. They can't.
I hope your own learning is going as well.
My own. Oh. You mean my studies?
Dogs are not the only ones here who must be tested. Unless you decide not to be a cannon after all.
Not only a cannon, Julius, but the second best dog trainer as well.
But first, the studies. You must become a cannon first.
Yes, I must learn Latin, history. It's not easy.
You should use every spare moment you have. Right now, for instance. Study. Learn.
I suppose you're right. Come on, Barry. Barry? What's he looking at?
Perhaps he's not as well trained as you said.
Barry, there's nothing out there. Julius, a man. He looks drunk.
Hurry, he'll be over the edge.
Julius, he's...
Yes, he's snowblind.
Go to the general.
Dog power is normally used to turn the roast on the spit, taking this chore off the hands of the overworked kitchen staff.
Hey, he does as well as the big dogs. Doesn't seem to tire him at all.
He enjoys it.
Tired old woman. That's what you are, Duclos. A tired old woman. What's that spinning in there? Ah, it's a dog. Come on, puppy, faster.
Sir, please.
Faster!
The dog is trained to turn it slowly.
And I say it goes fast.
Stop it!
Please, stop it.
Oh, hey, we are having a game. Stay away.
Excuse me. Come on, Barry. Come on. Come on, Barry. Come on. Come on, boy.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? I'm talking to you, you little...
No, quiet,
Sergeant
Barry.
Julius, what is it? Sergeant, is there a problem?
No problem, Father. Just admiring your dog.
If he frightened you, well, sorry.
Frightened? Me? Do you hear that, Duclos? Oh, no, Father. He pleased me. He should do more. He should attack. He should learn to kill.
Oh, no, Sergeant. Barry wouldn't kill anyone.
He will when I get through with him.
I don't understand.
It's simple, Father. He's going with us. We'll turn him into a war dog. Duclos? A real war dog.
No, he's a rescue dog. You can't do that.
Martin! If you please. I'm afraid it's not possible, Sergeant. The dog is needed here.
Ah? That's too bad. Consider this one gone. I am requisitioning him. In the name of the first consul, Napoleon Bonaparte, I requisition this dog.
No, get away from
Martin!
Enough! Martin. You bring great shame to the order.
I am sorry, Father.
To raise a fist to anyone. You must apologize.
I apologize, Sergeant.
God forgive you. Now go to the chapel and do penance. Until first light.
Yes, Father.
Must we all stand idle?
Julius. He's not here. Barry's not here.
That's right, he's not.
You mean the soldiers took him?
Why are you so surprised? The sergeant said they would, and they did.
When did they take him?
An hour or so ago. They were late, in a hurry.
You mean you were here when it happened? Julius. You mean you were here when it happened and you did nothing?
I did nothing because there was nothing I could do.
But Julius...
Surely you understand that. Why else did you do penance? Did it not sink in?
Yes, I know. No violence, as the prior said. No force. But Julius, why Barry? Why of all the others they could have taken? Why Barry?
Martin, you became attached to him. I told you it was a mistake. It has always been a mistake to favor one dog. You become too close, and then suddenly he is gone. Just like Barry, lost in a rescue, taken away. You must treat them the same, all of them. You understand?
Yes, I do. I do understand.
Good. Now suppose you give me a hand with this.
Julius, I'd like to have a few minutes to myself outside.
Go.
To Martin's trained eye, the tracks show a dog being dragged away, resisting.
Barry. Barry! Barry! Oh, Barry! Barry, it's you, Barry! Oh, you're back!
The summer festival. Farmers have driven their herds up here to the meadows of the high Alps for grazing. The hospice people have come down for supplies and reunions with old friends. Even in 1802, the festival is an ancient, time-honored tradition.
Julius!
Stay.
Since animals in herds almost always establish dominance by fighting among themselves, thus establishing a pecking order, the canny Swiss simply stage the contest for the entertainment of the onlookers.
Martin Cogny.
Dr. Bernay. Simone.
Hello. Hello. How are you, Martin? How's life at the hospice?
Difficult, Doctor, but good.
Martin, I see you haven't taken your vows yet.
Not for a long time yet, Doctor. I'm still a novice. If you'll excuse me.
Certainly. Excuse us, Julius.
Please do. Goodbye.
In the summer, the dogs are not idle. They are trained to carry heavy milk casks. But the famed brandy barrel is a myth, begun by an English painter with a vivid imagination.
Voila. It's all full. Good journey.
Hold on, Julius. Here's another one.
Barry is not ready yet. He's too young.
He's almost as big as the others.
It requires practice, a sense of balance, especially up in the snow.
Well, if he cannot handle it, we can remove it. At least let him try, Julius. Please.
Very well. But if he falls on his face, don't blame me.
All right. I promise. See you later.
Au revoir.
Bientôt. Au revoir.
Dogs adapt readily to the work they've been bred for. Even so, the ease with which Barry takes to his new task is notable. But what nearly brings disaster on this trip is not the inexperience of the dog, but the impatience of the master.
Come on, Barry. That's it. Faster.
It is an impatience Martin will regret.
Are you crazy? What are you trying to do?
Get to the hospice first. I told you he could do it.
Yes. And the next thing he could do is go over the cliff. Get back where you belong and stay there. We'll talk about this later, Martin.
Judgment, Martin. Judgment and discipline. Every time we are out there, it's full of danger. It's a matter of life and death. It's not enough to be young, full of vigor. You must use judgment. You know why why you did this business with the milk pot. You wanted to train Barry with the older dogs. And if he does well enough, you will want him to take a test to be a complete rescue dog.
Yes. Yes, I confess, Julius. That's exactly why I did it. Will you let him try? What you gonna say? He's too young. You've said that already. Julius, I'm sure that...
No! No, that's not what I was going to say, not this time. What is it between you and this dog? Some mysterious bond? Why? Because when you came here as an officer, he was just born? Because the first thing he saw when he opened his eye was you? Are you linked together forever? You and Barry? No! No. His judgment I worry about. Same as I worry about yours. The old dogs are smart. They have judgment. But Barry, I'm just not sure.
Julius, isn't that what training is for? To teach judgment and discipline? Please.
Down, Barry. Down, Lion. Down, Bellow.
The average dog starts training for rescue work shortly before he is 17 months
Roll,
old.
Lion. Roll, Barry.
The crawling lesson is important.
Roll, Bellow.
With the body flat, the dog's weight is distributed evenly so that he can move across soft snowdrifts without sinking.
Crawl, Barry. Crawl, Lion. Crawl, Barrow. Barry, crawl. Stay, Barry.
At times, the older dogs prove more patient than the eager Barry. When the rescue dog is fully trained, he will be able to scent at a distance a stranger who has been buried in the snow. He will seek and find the victim and start to dig him out even before his master arrives. But before he can accomplish this, he must go through a series of progressively harder tasks. One of these is the finding and retrieving of an object buried in the snow. In the early stages, as here, the object carries his master's scent. Later, it will have the scent of a stranger. Here, the dogs run to the hospice on command. Later, they will learn that in situations they can't cope with, they must, without command, return home for help.
Find him. Find him.
In this exercise, the dogs have progressed from finding a man lying on bare earth to finding him covered with a little snow, then with more and more snow, until this stage, where he is completely covered over. Now, with the crawling technique fully mastered, begins the painstaking, constantly repeated maneuver, which will eventually teach the dogs, after they have uncovered the victim, to stretch themselves close alongside or upon him, in order to revive him with the warmth of their bodies.
Closer. Closer.
As the training proceeds, Barry proves himself able to compete on equal terms with the older dogs, until this test of their ability to find a more deeply buried victim in unmarked snow. It is when his teammate loses interest that Barry proves he is not equal, but superior to all the others.
Well,
Well, what?
you kissed your fingers, didn't you?
was for Barry, wasn't it?
Not necessarily.
Julius. He did everything that was asked of him, as well as the others. Now the test is 2 weeks off. You must let him take it, please.
Must! Let me remind you, your own test is coming up. I suggest you pay more attention to that now.
In saving the man, the dog is buried.
Quickly, help me. Buster.
Is he alive?
Martin, your mind is on Barry, isn't it?
A good part of it, Father.
My son, I told you it is not necessary that you take the test now. It can wait for another time.
I just assume.
No, Martin, I am serious. You will take many more before you can be considered for your vows. It would be a shame.
I'm finished, Father.
What?
I said I'm finished.
But you finished so quickly. If you would like more time.
No, thank you, Father. As a matter of fact, I did hurry because of Barry. But I think I did well anyway. Now, with your permission, Father, I'll get back to him.
You may go.
Julius. Julius.
Martin, I didn't hear you.
Is he all right?
All right, he's fine. He was stunned. A shock, that's all. He came to an hour ago.
An hour ago? Why didn't you tell me?
And interfere with your test? Speaking of tests, he should be well enough by tomorrow to take his. Let's hope all his nerve hasn't been knocked out of him.
Before he can qualify as a full-fledged rescue dog, the St. Bernard must be able to locate a stranger deeply buried under an overhang, after all evidence of his presence has been carefully concealed. He will accomplish this while working with his master. The final step, which will come later, will require him to duplicate the feat, alone, without his master. At that point, the dog will have at last learned that his mission is to find anyone buried under the snow. The signal is relayed over the crest of the hill to the faraway rescue party.
He's in the cave. Let's get ready. We'll keep them on a leash for a while. At my signal, we'll release them. The rest is up to them.
We're ready.
Now, Martin, it's no disgrace to fail. To find a man somewhere, buried behind snow. A stranger whose scent is unfamiliar. At the best, it's difficult. especially for a young dog.
Not for Barry.
Just keep him on the leash. When time comes, Lion and Bello can go alone.
He'll do well, Julius. I know he will.
All right. But don't be too disappointed. They leave him behind. Here.
No! What's he after?
Who can say? A mouse under the snow, perhaps a rabbit.
Something has led him off the track of the man he was supposed to find. It is a documented fact that St. Bernards have been able to detect the scent of a human at a distance of more than a mile.
Julius, he's found something. What is it, boy?
Go find him.
Hurry, before the rest of the snow falls.
Oh, thank God he's alive. Good boy. Good Barry.
Well, it's time for the man in the cave.
He must be freezing by now. I forgot all about him.
You and Barry both, huh?
We're ready now.
No. Brother Fredo has already gone to let him out. We can test Lion and Bello tomorrow.
But Julius, what about Barry? Barry didn't fail.
Fail? Who said anything about failing? He did something better than a test. He made a rescue.
Yes. And did you notice when we got there? He did everything perfectly.
With your help.
Oh, come on, Julius. For once, admit it. He did it perfectly. Hey, you saw him? Hey, did you see him?
Go on. Go to the hospice and celebrate. I'll go and help Brother Fredo.
All right. Come on, Barry. I'll go tell Angelo that Barry made his first rescue.
Martin, he still has to learn to work alone, by himself, without you. If he ever does, I'll give you my alpenstock.
During these years, Barry's fame has spread. He has distinguished himself above all the others by his rescues. He has also become a father. And like a good parent, he still finds time to enjoy his family.
Barry. All right, enough. They've worn you out, have they? Come on. Look at them. They look so much like him.
Who else should they look like? In you go, sire.
He's got quite a family now. With the two latest, it makes 15.
15. 13. Number 12 and number 13.
No, 15. You're forgetting that...
Forgetting. I can give you name and breeding of every dog that has been in this hospice since I came here in 1780.
All right, forgetting was the wrong word. I beg your pardon. All I meant is that you forgot, excuse me, overlooked Barry's 2 grandchildren.
Well, if you include grandchildren, yes, 15. Thank the Lord you were not the first thing they saw.
What?
If you had been, they would be as attached to you as Barry is.
Oh, Julius, please,
Julius, please. Julius, please. It's God's truth. When Barry first opened his eyes, he saw you. Only you. And ever since, you and he are inseparable.
Are you still worried about that? You know very well Barry doesn't need me.
You remember my offer? I'll give you my alpenstock if ever Barry worked alone, without you. And you notice, I still have it. Hold on, Antoine.
Martin, Julius.
Another one, Father.
And this time very generous. 500 guilder. It came by carrier. Listen. Michael, John. Come. Honored father of the Hospice of Greater Saint-Bernard. I'm translating from the German. Honored father, so and so on, I send you this small contribution. Small. In gratefulness that, while in danger of my life, on St. Bernard Pass in the great storm, the 20th of the last month, I was rescued through the grace of God and the intervention of your patrol and the dogs. Permit me, Father, to add that never have I seen such dogs so well trained. In especial the dog Barry. I tell his praises to everyone, for I do believe that had he not found me and lay down beside to warm me, I would most surely have perished from the cruel cold. Your devoted servant, Wilhelm Baron von Reinstadt.
Baron von Reinstadt? No wonder. It's the largest contribution yet.
It is needed. Every donation is so needed. So many travelers to help, to care for. How many has he saved already? 20 at least.
Yes. Truly a remarkable dog.
Martin, a moment, if you will.
Of course, Father.
Time is very swift, my son. In another 2 months, you will have been with us 3 full years.
Yes, Father.
The end of your novitiate. If you wish to become a canon, time to take your vows. Martin, it is not a decision to be made lightly. The life of a member of the Order of Saint Bernard is not an easy one.
I have come to realize that, Father.
Have you also changed your reason for being here?
My reason?
You sought some kind of revenge against the mountains. You recall telling me that.
Yes, I remember.
By now, you should realize vengeance should never be a reason for taking your vows. Service to God calls for a higher... They sense another storm.
Yes, Father.
Another one?
Yes. And the last Beliora. Seems like a month since we had a good weather. Who's on patrol now?
Brother Angelo and Brother David. Dominic, sound the alarm.
You and Gregor take the patrol toward the summit with Turk and Devil. Martin, we will look the Devil's Slide.
Must be something wrong. Barry wouldn't act this way.
Help me! Help me!
My God.
At these altitudes, the unwary traveler is often caught off guard by the chaotic shifts in weather. The blinding snow and strong gusts which swept him off the ledge have within minutes given way to blue skies, and they can recur without warning in as little time.
Is he alive?
I can't tell from here. Are you ready?
Yes.
Be careful. Tight. That's it. Pull! 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 Pull!
Barry, double, warm him.
Go back.
You don't see what I mean, do you, Martin?
Julius, all I say is that you make too much of it.
Do you deny I should have stayed where he was instead of coming over to you?
The rescue was complete. The man was no longer cold. What does it matter?
What does it matter? It matters, Martin. It's part of discipline. Next time, he may forget his duty entirely. If you're in danger, he may turn over to you instead of...
Oh, Julius, if... You're imagining things.
You're too close. That's what I mean. You and Barry are too close.
Summertime in the high Alps. A time when, for a few crystal days, the patrol can be a playful pastime for Martin and his dog. And Barry is his dog. By now it seems quite clear that Julius is right. They are too close, these two.
Come on, Barry.
They know it, and they revel in it. Today, the bubbling stream, so hazardous in a storm, is simply a pleasant spot for a refreshing drink of ice-clear water. Yet nature is never as peaceful as she seems. Danger can come from any direction.
Was he with you?
Yeah! Yeah!
Have you any idea where you were?
We're close to the edge.
Stay here, where you're safe. Barry, find him. Help. The litter. Barry, come. Come here. The hospice. Go to the hospice.
this is no time for hostilities. He has his orders, and he obeys. A bear that leaves tracks this large is not to be taken lightly. Barry will need more than his great courage if their paths should cross again. And so Martin fashions a collar for him, studded with dagger-sharp spikes, just in case.
Simon, Dr. Burney, are you leaving?
Yes, Papa is better now.
Except for this souvenir. The weather is mild, the village is downhill. We should have no trouble.
Martin, I don't know if I thanked you and Barry for saving my life.
Yes, Doctor, you did.
Well, even so, let me thank you again. You and the first of the Barry Hounds.
Barry Hounds?
Haven't you heard? Yeah, that's what people are beginning to call Barry's puppies.
He is getting famous everywhere. Lyon, Genève, Berne.
Barry Hounds. Barry Hounds.
Julius! Julius!
Julius, I just heard something very interesting.
Something interesting? What?
Barry Hounds.
Barry Hounds.
Yes. Dr. Burney and Simone say that's what everyone's calling Barry's pups. He's becoming famous.
Well, I never favored one dog over another.
Julius.
But in this case, I can't deny he deserves it. Well, Doctor, they are waiting for you.
Yes. Would you excuse me a minute? I'd like a word with Martin.
Of course, Doctor.
Martin, I'm only proposing this because I know that you haven't taken your vows yet.
No, I haven't. But quite soon.
Let me put it this way. There is another way to save lives without suffering the eternal snow and ice. I saved many lives as a doctor.
Yes, sir. I know.
Have you ever considered being one?
Me? A doctor?
Yes.
No, I had not. It never occurred to me.
Martin, my assistant Pierre Destia, you know Pierre? Now Pierre is leaving me. He served his apprenticeship, and now he's going to be a doctor. So, I need a new assistant.
Doctor, I don't know what to say. It's a great honor.
Oh, please, Martin, I do not ask for an immediate answer. A month, 2 months is just something for you to consider.
It certainly is.
Doctor,
Yes?
it's better not to delay if you want to be sure of getting home before dark.
Of course. Thank you.
Goodbye, Martin. And thank you for helping us.
Goodbye, Martin. And Martin, think about it, eh? Goodbye, Julius.
Bye, Doctor.
Thank you.
Think about it. Think about what, Martin?
Well, if I don't take my vows,
Yes?
He asked me to be his assistant, to become a doctor like him.
A doctor? Well, you do have something to think about.
Now on every patrol, Martin carries an extra burden, the decision he must bring himself to make. Barry has been fitted with his new collar, its prongs barely visible through his thick fur. That decision proves to be both far-sighted and fortunate. Credit a long line of fearless ancestors, an indomitable determination to protect his master, and perhaps the needle points of that bristling collar. His instinct tells him to stay and guard his master, but his training will send him back to the hospice for help.
Almost healed, isn't he?
Yes. Just one cut left where the bear slashed him.
I'm surprised Barry lets you do that, Julius.
As a matter of fact, Brother Angelo, I am a little surprised myself.
He's a real one-man dog. And now, after he saved Martin's life, they are closer than ever. I doubt you could pry them apart with a pitchfork.
Brother Angelo, I can't speak for you, but I have better things to do than stand around and gossip. And so is Martin. Where is he? Have you seen him?
He's in the chapel.
The chapel? This time of day? What's he doing there?
If Martin is to exchange the gray gown of the novice for the black habit of the canon, his vows will obligate him to practice charity and abstinence, and to renounce all personal possessions.
How's your head?
Much improved, thank you. It aches, but not from this. My head aches because...
I know. I know you're trying to make up your mind.
Yes. I don't know why it should be so difficult. I want to become a canon. I want to take my vows. But still, I'm confused.
Martin, did you know that once I wanted to become a canon?
You?
It was when I first arrived at the hospice years ago.
But you came to be the canon master.
Yes. But even more, I wanted to serve as a canon.
Why didn't you?
Unfortunately, I am not a scholar like you. I couldn't learn Latin. I failed history. Since I failed in my studies, I couldn't become a cannon, no matter how badly I wanted to. I remember how much I prayed. Now my prayers are for you. Every night I pray that you will become what I could not, a cannon.
Father Antoine. Father, I'm sorry.
No, it is I who am sorry. I didn't intend to overhear. However, since I have Julius, we cannot persuade him. He has to decide for himself.
Father, I do want to take my vows. I do.
If you had said it more quietly, Martin, I would be more apt to believe you.
Father, what shall I do?
Ask yourself a question.
A question?
Yes. A simple question. How much are you willing to give up? Can you give up this? You know you must dispose of all your worldly possessions. If you go down to the village, you will not have two. Yes. I knew that Dr. Bernet had asked you to be his assistant.
He said I could become a doctor. I would save lives.
Yes, worth a calling. I don't deny it.
But Father, we save lives too.
Yes. So then what is the difference? Is it better to save lives here or there? Certainly, it's comfortable there. Life is much more pleasant.
I don't care about that, Father.
No, I confess I do. When the wind howls and the freezing cold creeps through its walls and I shiver through the night, I confess that many times I have wished for that kind of comfort. Martin, there is more than one way to do God's work. You're fortunate to have two ways to serve Him. It is a dilemma, I know. But in the end, only you can make that choice. Only you can know which path you want to take.
Well, how do I look? Vanity. Beware the sin of vanity.
Would I look better with this?
No, no. It's not yours yet. Well, time to train the dogs, Brother Martin.
Barry, crawl.
Though the dogs obviously cannot train one another, they can learn from one another. It is well known that the offspring of good rescue dogs learn more readily than those not so well bred.
Down and crawl.
These are two of Barry's pups who prove the point.
Barry, get it!
The young dogs display a lively interest in whatever the older one does. They will try to imitate him with varying degrees of success.
Dig. Make a trail, Barry. That's it. Make a trail.
They may never catch up with their famous father. His exploits are already legendary, but they will keep trying to follow in his footsteps.
Beautiful.
Yes. Today it's peaceful. Just a little breeze.
I used to hate them. You remember, Julius?
I remember. You wanted revenge.
How could I? Their guts work too, like all else.
True. True. I really hate to leave.
Leave? You?
Don't you think it's time? I've been here forever.
Yes, I know. But Julius, why? Why?
Why? My bones are getting tired, that's why. The longest anyone stayed before is 15 years. I'm overdue. Besides, I have finally found someone who can take over my work. My grandfather passed it to his son, my father to me. I have no son, but... I guess the good weather is over. I'm sure you'll do very well.
But Julius,
I'm not leaving this very minute. I'll be here a good while yet before I go.
The worsening weather does not deter the ever-increasing stream of refugees through the pass. Patrols from the hospice are on constant alert for travelers in trouble.
Upstairs, quickly. Yes, very well. Get him some brandy.
It seems to be letting up.
At least we'll be able to see.
We'd better. So much snow means avalanches.
Angelo, will you go on the pass with Barry? Martin, if you will take Barrow and go down.
Come on, Barrow.
All right. You and Barry, go. Go!
A scant half-hour later, skies have cleared. In these brief intervals between storms, the hot sunlight only adds to the possibility of an avalanche.
Julius.
There has been an avalanche. An old man and some children are cut off.
Where?
Devil's Slide. Lead the way.
Groups of war orphans, often shepherded by well-meaning but inept leaders, are among the most vulnerable victims of the storm-swept pass.
They look Prussian, Julius. What are they doing so far away?
Who knows? Let's go.
Is this all? Is this all of you?
Is anyone missing?
Oh, we better get them back while we can. Barry and I will lead. Barry, come on.
Martin, look out!
Angelo, come and help me. Go back to the children.
Give me this. Give me Dago. And you stay behind with Dirk. Barry! Barry, come!
It is told that 3 days later, Brother Martin departed this life, deeply mourned, and by none more than Barry. It is also told that Barry lived to be 12 years old, an age beyond that of any dog in the annals of the hospice. His record of 40 rescues has never been equaled. To this day, the spiked collar made for him by Martin can be seen in the museum at Bern. And in Paris, this statue commemorates his most famous rescue. But most important are these living memorials, Barry's descendants. Ever since his death, the best one has been given his name. So that today, in the mountains of Switzerland, there still lives a dog named Barry.